All right, welcome, kings and queens. Today we are talking a very, very tender, delicate topic. We are talking Kiki Palmer and Darius Jackson. Y'all, the post breakup between Darius Jackson and Kiki Palmer has taken a very dark and ugly turn. And you know what? I think I'm actually misspeaking when I say it's taken a dark turn because I think Kiki has been suffering in silence for quite some time. And if the truth be told, a lot of you owe her an apology. A lot of you owe Kiki an apology because you spoke too soon on this girl getting out to try to enjoy her life when she went to that Usher concert. Remember, she went to the Usher concert. And a lot of you said you're ruining your family, having no idea the torment, the darkness, the evil that this girl was up against behind closed doors. So, according to court documents obtained by e-television, Kiki Palmer, who's 30, is requesting an urgent and temporary restraining order against Darius Jackson. And she's also asking for sole custody of their 8-month old soul. Their 8-month old son after claiming she was the victim of abuse. And I don't even want to say she claimed she was a victim of abuse. She was able to document through video recordings and prove her claim. So it's not a claim, this is fact. This boy, this insecure ass, weak ass loser, is a repeat offender. We'll get into that in a bit. And my heart goes out to Kiki because I can only imagine the torment, the pressure, right, to be Kiki Palmer and then staring down the face and the eyes of a monster behind closed doors. Kiki claimed that he threatened her before lunging for her neck, striking her, throwing her over the couch, and stealing her phone. This was the most recent incident that occurred last Sunday on November 5th, y'all. It's chilling. It's very shocking. This lady had no idea that this man was in her home. Y'all, they broke up in October. She's in her home, and it sounds like maybe she had just gotten out the shower. She's relaxing. She's kind of kikiing on the phone uh, in the process of putting on her clothes, but she was talking to her mother on the phone, and he burst through the bedroom door with his phone out, recording her, saying, "I've heard enough. I got what I need to know, or I heard what I need to know." Imagine going through domestic violence. Nobody knows but close friends and family, right? You think you're safe. You broke it off. You think you're done, only to have this man come in your bedroom. And I can only imagine what was going through her heads. Probably was like, "Oh my God, how did he get here?" Second, "Oh my God, is girl stay calm." Third, "Oh my God, now that we know he's a repeat offender and he has brutally beaten her before, right? Physically picked her up and body slammed her, hit her in the head, all kind of things." And if this is a trigger for you, I do encourage you to please log off and prioritize your own well being if this is too much. We understand. Okay. Now, when someone like that walks through your door, you have no idea what to expect. Is this the last time he's going to hit me? Is this going to escalate? Y'all, I feel my heart breaks in half for this girl because I feel like this is not over. Based on the court documents and the detailed accounts of each incident, I don't know if it's safe to say this is over. I don't know. I know personally, I would not feel comfortable sleeping in that house. I would not. But let me back up a little bit because I'm kind of jumping in. But for those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
So Kiki was able to share with the court that this is not the first time that this has happened. There's actually many instances of physical violence. She's claimed that Darius has destroyed her property, her cell phone, y'all, her prescription eyeglasses, impeding her from leaving. There's just so many detailed accounts. And even he's even gotten rough with the baby. So what I'm not going to do is go through the court documents. There are so many great content creators that have done that already. What I would like to do is just break this down in layman's terms, just to kind of give you my take on it, and then offer maybe some strategies for women or men that could be going through this. um Physical abuse, that's what she's claiming. Emotional abuse. Just imagine, man. For those of you that have not been able to see the court documents, Chronicle Speaks does a really good job of going through the black and white. And when I say the black and white, I'm talking about the actual detailed account of what Kiki outlined for the court. She has been granted the restraining order. Thank God. Thank God. Darius cannot go within a certain vicinity, a certain area. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. He's not allowed to contact Kiki, to be in the presence of Kiki or the child at this time. Thank you to the courts. Thank you to the judges. Y'all, this man terrorized this girl, terrorized her. And wow. She said what gave her the strength to leave was her child. Her child actually, this past Sunday, her child actually, knowing that she's a mother, that gave her the strength to leave. Um, she said he barged through the bedroom door last Sunday. He hit her. He threw her over the couch by the time they made it downstairs. She was so afraid. She kept asking him to please leave. She had her mother on speakerphone who was also asking him to leave. Let me tell you how sinister this is. She said he took a seat in her home. Y'all, when somebody has been physically violent with you before and they've broken into your home and have entered into your home without you knowing, and they barge into your bedroom and you're not wearing a lot of clothes, you already know what time it is, or you can only imagine. So she's trying to remain calm. And at the same time, she's trying to move him downstairs by moving closer to her stairs so they get downstairs. She said, after a while, he gets silent. He takes a seat. He looks at her and he's quiet. At that point, she became afraid. So she put a bit of distance between the two of them, ensuring that there was furniture between the two of them. He hit her. He threw her over the couch, which she has detailed account of through the camera. Okay. He took her phone and then he takes off. He runs out the house. She runs out the house behind him, so that she can get her phone back to call the authorities. She uses the trash, like the trash cans, those big old trash cans, the recycle cans, to block him in. And he almost hit her. He almost hit her. And that's when I guess he communicated or yelled. He threw her phone in the bushes. So he gets out the car to try to get the phone so that she couldn't use it. She starts to yell. She starts to yell. People come out to assist her. Oh, Lord. This man broke in this lady's house, y'all. Now they not together. I just want you to follow me. He broke in her home because he could. That's what cowards do. That's what weak boys do. He broke in her home and then he used the child as a technical reason for being there. He didn't call beforehand. There was nothing planned. He had no scheduled visitation. He says, "I'm here for my son." Imagine that. Not in this state of mind, you not. Shit, you finna get up out of here. Not in this state of mind. Yeah, I don't blame her. Well, the baby was not there, thank God. But even if the baby was there, no mother in her right mind is about to allow you to take her child while you're in that condition, mentally, physically, and or emotionally. Are y'all following me? Ladies and men, when you are dealing with somebody that has a propensity to result to violence, please don't chase them. Please don't. Let them have the phone. I know it's a lot in phones and it can be a huge inconvenience if somebody takes your shit. You got everything in there, numbers and all of that. Let them have it. You get yourself to safety. You secure your premises and you figure out a way to send a smoke signal. You figure out a way to send a signal and or to call 911 if that's your only method of communication, the phone or the device that they have taken. So she was granted a domestic violence restraining order. Okay. This, like I said, he's a repeat offender when it comes to domestic violence. Not necessarily in the courts when I say he's a repeat offender, when it comes to his relationship, his personal relationship, and his egregious behavior behind the scenes with Kiki Palmer. She said in February, y'all, a day before Valentine's. A day before Valentine's, he body slammed this girl on the stairs in her home, slapped her across her head, body slammed her. Okay. And she said the cycle, it would be a repetitive cycle of love bombing and then becoming cold and distant. Then he would go into a rage. Okay. Then he would call her out of her name, call her slut and whore. Who does that remind you of? Who does that remind you of? I'm not going to call out any names. Okay. But just some of the similarities. Who does this remind you of? You get where I'm going with this? And he physically destroyed her property. I know I mentioned that earlier. And he also violated her privacy. Things that she's done since a child. She's kept detailed journals since she was 12 years old. Things that I'm sure most girls do. We keep journals, and if we're able to not lose them along the way and along the years, most of us want to give them to our daughters if we're fortunate enough to have a daughter and or nieces or whomever else we deem valuable, right? To grant access to our private and tender thoughts. He destroyed this girl's journals after reading them journals that she's kept since she was an adolescent. Nigga, you got your nerve. You got your nerve. Somebody dusty ass son. Coming into somebody else's daughter's life and literally eliminating any trace of her thoughts, her progress, of her emotions, her journey from being a teen or an adolescent until into adulthood. Excuse me, sir. On April, so that was in February. On April, they were somewhere. They go out to eat. She said he accused her of flirting with the waitress. And he completely turned into a monster in the restaurant. But of course, she's trying to manage the situation and de escalate. So she convinces him to leave the noodle place to go back to the hotel, to which he told her, no, we leaving. We going back to LA tonight. Imagine that, a nigga with no money, no career path, no resources coming into your life as the breadwinner, ladies. That's why I hesitate about these relationships that are unequally yoked, right? Where women are now paving the way for themselves and expected to settle. I call it the Tyler Perry boot camp, where he's telling women it's okay if he don't have anything, as long as he can put something on the light bill. Nigga, you must be out of your mind, Mr. Tyler Perry. Now imagine somebody like that and you taking Tyler Perry's advice, being open, right? Because it comes from a man like from the likes of a Tyler Perry that's telling you to settle. And then you walk yourself into abuse because he has no idea what he's talking about. There's a reason why the Bible advises against being unequally yoked, y'all. It creates division. It can. I'm not going to say all the time. It can create division, discontent, jealousy, envy, covetousness. And that sounds exactly like what Kiki went through. Okay. So he's telling her, we leaving. So they came in separate cars. Kiki ain't playing no game. She gets back to the hotel. She starts to pack her stuff. She says, right as she about to get into her car, he comes over to her. He threw her stuff, take her bag, and dumped all of her stuff in the rain. He snatches off her prescription glasses, and I don't know if he stomped him, but he did something to where he attempted to break them. He took her keys, threw them in the bushes. So this girl who wears glasses is having to have to scramble to get all her stuff back in her suitcase, search for her glasses, Put them back on, piecemeal them together, and then go look in the bushes for her keys, soaking wet, so that she can drive back to Los Angeles up on his command. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine raising your daughter to be a successful actress, to find a piece of trash like that who's treating her like that behind the scenes. I am so worried for Kiki. My heart breaks for Kiki. My heart breaks for many women that are in that are in that situation. And I have a tender spot for black women because we're black women are not allowed to cry. Black women are not allowed to do better, think better, go out and have fun. She was shamed for having a bit of sunshine at the Usher concert. People spoke on her without any details, not even knowing she was dealing with the monster, sleeping with the enemy, y'all. What's the name of that? Is it Sleeping with the Enemy? The movie with Julia Roberts where she had to plan her escape? You remember? And plan her disappearance, but he found her anyway. That's what Darius is giving me. That's why I said I hesitate to say that this is over. I don't know, you know? And then I think what really broke the straw on the camel's back is Kiki said he became very, very jealous and very sinister after she had her child. And he would look at her and he told her he understand why male animals kill their young or eat them alive. Whew, while she was holding her child. And he also told her, and when people are talking to you like that, let me tell you what that is. That's a threat. That is a sinister threat. That's a move of power, positioning, and control. That's psychological torment. Okay? Letting you know what could go down. Who in their right mind looks at their baby and says, I now understand why male animals devour their young? That's sick. And I hope it's over. And I believe it could be if Kiki takes the right steps. Okay. So far, she's off to a good start. And then he goes on to tell her that a man's love for his child is based on how he feels about the woman. So if you are beating her and abusing her, and if that's your notion and your hypothesis for how a child should be treated, you damn well right. The court did the right thing by issuing a judgment for him to stay far away from the child. And as a matter of fact, in the documents that Kiki submitted to the court, she said that he would hold the baby and speak curses over her as the mother, telling the baby, your mother's a cunt, your mother's a whore, your mother's a slut. Y'all, who I got to move on. He's gotten rough with the baby while changing the baby. The baby was crying. He got so rough that Kiki stepped in because she feared for the baby. And she said it actually started to move into a tug of war for the baby. And he finally walked away. But before he walked away, he hit her and hit in her head with his fist. My heart just breaks for this girl. And not just for Kiki, for women all around the world that have to put a smile on their face, put their clothes on, and go to work. And when you do try to come out and have a good time, people are blasting you all on social media because you try to walk away and they're calling you dumb. And now you're gonna be a single mother because you ruined your own family. It's women like you that this and this and that. Go to hell. Go straight to hell. Because y'all have no idea what it feels like to be in that position. What it feels like to be tortured, scared to leave because he's going to find you. And when you do break up, here he comes, breaking into your home while you're in your bedroom. If I were Kiki, I would probably strongly consider relocating. And you know, the crazy thing about men like that, if you listen or if you go back and locate the court documents, she said that she had made her family and friends aware of what was going on. And everybody she listed was a woman. Men like that prey on women that do not have a male presence or male dominance around them. They prey on women that do not have a man to defend them. So I want to leave you with something. And I know it's not a comprehensive checklist, but it's a good place to start. First of all, if you find yourself in that situation and you cannot get out or you have not thought of a strategic way to move out of the situation without fearing for your life or fearing harm, the first thing you need to do is tell someone. Find someone you can trust and let them know what's going on. And if you don't have close friends or family that you can tell or share with somebody at work. Okay. Hell, if anything, I would probably encourage you to share with somebody at work first because that would be a great technicality for somebody to call you at a certain time and say, hey, are you working on that work project? Did you need any help with that? Find somebody to tell. The second thing is find a backup way to communicate, right? Should they take your cell phone like he did with Kiki and try to take it and or destroy it? I don't care if it's a flip phone or what else, if it's a burner phone, have an alternative way of communicating with somebody just in case they try to remove all communication devices from you. The third thing is to try to document visually or audio documentation because I guarantee you, as a Black woman, if Kiki did not have the camera footage and they were not able to extract those still shots, I'm not sure if the court would have taken the necessary steps to ensure her safety. Okay. Last but not least, I would probably say establish a code word where you can allow or you can alert someone that you're not in a good place with this person. A code word where you can say, I fear for my life. I am scared. He is in my house. And if you can, make sure you have male presence around you. You know, even if it's a new relationship and he's starting to get a little rough and tough, go ahead and break up if you can before it shifts to there. And if you're already skin or if you're already deep in this stuff, you're deep in the woods with this, see if you can get a guy, a brother, an uncle, a grandpa, somebody to come to the house. You know, it's a dangerous game all the way around. I wish nothing but the best for Kiki and her safety, as well as the safety of the child. What are your thoughts? Let's take this conversation to the chat.